Good morning. Let's get this pot going. Hi everyone, welcome to So Lovely with Grace. If you're new here, I'm Grace. If you're returning, welcome back. I just love this 3D sewing machine on this coffee mug. Makes coffee more enjoyable. It's so beautiful. I love it. So, today is another edition of What Did I Make with My Fabric Mart Bundle? And today I'm showing this fabric that came from the Craft Bundle. Yeah, the Craft Bundle. The Craft Bundle is 6 pieces of fabric. You get this at Fabric Mart for $6, and each piece is under 2 yards. This piece was the Craft Bundle and it was only 1 yard, so I had to make it work with this pattern. This McCall's Cowl Neck drape pattern. The one that the model's wearing is the one that I made, and I utilized 1 yard of fabric and I made it work because on this I needed, for the size, what did I make, medium, 1 3/4 yards. So I had to do a little, make magic, make it happen. So what I'm going to do is model it for you first, and then I will show you what I did on the cutting table. Let me tell you, it's really humid out. Whew, so hot. This is a great little cowl neck top cut on the bias to give this wonderful drape. It's a simple pattern with 2 pieces. You have the front and the back, and that's it. The only notion you have is bias tape to finish the hem of the back of the neckline. The neckline here I finished using my serger. So there you go. You can see how I finished it here. And then you just tuck it in. Just make it as shapely as you want, the way you want it to hang. And then you have these cap sleeves that I also use a serger on that, and then just top stitch because it frayed, this fabric frayed. And I love using my serger whenever I can. Keeps things nice, neat, professional, and quick. And this was a quick project. I cut it and I sewed it the same day, which is rare for me because normally I like to cut one day and sew the next. But this came together so quick. This was cut on the bias with 1 yard of fabric. And I'm going to show you what I did to make that happen because it was tricky. It also has this hemline right cut here. It was actually 1 inch longer, but I cut it shorter to fit on the table and to get the 2 pattern pieces, but it came out perfect for the size. And then it has this little coverage in the back, which I love. So yeah, this is a great top, a really quick top, and I think I'm going to be, banging out a bunch of these because it's great. But I got to use my Fabric Mart fabric from my bundle. So yeah. And this was, it was a Craft Bundle. So 1 yard, so this was $1 just for this top. It's definitely not a Dollar Tree top. I love it. So let me walk this for you. I'm wearing these embroidery jeans that I bought at Venus like years ago, many years ago. And my wedge sandals that I love. This is the style I like. This rayon challis, I guess is what it is. That's what it feels like, is the perfect fabric for this pattern. It has the perfect drape, and when it's cut on the bias, it comes out so wonderful with these cap sleeves. And in the back, it has a low neckline, and I finished it with bias tape. It's just a unique back neckline. So, pretty straightforward, but I think it's very stylish. I have to choose a size, and this is kind of difficult. I have two patterns because there's no finished garment measurements on the envelope, so I picked them up anyway. So I have this size, extra small to medium, and then the large to the, what is this, XX large. And what I do is I pulled out the front piece because I'm going to do view A, and the finished garment measurements for the medium is a 40. Now my bust is a 40, so that's kind of cutting it close. Unfortunately, I pulled out the front piece for the large. I don't have it on the table, I wrapped it up. And that, for the finished garment measurement of the bust, is 44, which is huge. I don't know why there's such a big jump in a size. So this is a finished garment measurement of 40 with a 5/8 inch seam allowance, and it calls for 1 3/8 yard of fabric, whereas the large is 1.5 yards. I only have 1 yard to deal with here. So I'm going to do the medium, and what I'm going to do is just use a smaller seam allowance. I think I'll do like a 1/4 inch, or just use my serger, which would be like 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch. And hopefully it works. So that's what I'm going to do with this pattern. 1 yard of fabric, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to sew up view A, and that only takes 2 pattern pieces, the front number 1 and the back number 2. And I only have 1 yard of fabric to work with. So to get these 2 pieces to fit, I had to shorten it 1 inch. So this is the lengthen and shorten line here. So I brought it up 1 inch, and these 2 pieces are cut on the bias. So there's the bias grain line, and here's the selvage. So it's parallel. So I barely squeezed it in. I got both pieces on this 1 piece of fabric, and it went up 1 inch from the length. It's a long top anyways. It goes down to her hips. So we'll see how it works out, but I want to sew it up, and I really like this fabric, and I'll just do a narrow hem. I'll serge it and turn it, and then I won't lose too much. Okay, so now I'm going to cut, mark, and begin sewing. McCalls 6563 is a wonderful pattern if you could find it, because it's from 2012. It's an older pattern, but I was lucky enough to find it. And it has so many views here that are wonderful. You have view A, which looks like a tunic. Look how long this is, and this is view A. But when you look at the line drawings, to me, it just looks smaller. It looked like just a regular basic top, but the pattern pieces are longer, and you can shorten them as I did. I had to make it work. You'll also have the color blocking view. Isn't that unique? I love it. And the one with the tabs, and then the handkerchief look. So there's a lot in this little pattern. It's just wonderful. And there's the line drawings again. So let me tell you about it. It has, let's see, fabrics are satin, voile, jersey, falle, or rayon, or whatever. Anything with a nice drape cut on the bias is going to work for this top. And single fold bias tape are your only notions for all the views. I'm definitely going to make this one again. If I get more fabric similar to this, I'm going to be cranking these out. These are great for the summer in Florida. You just throw it over your head, no zipper, no buttons, no back loops, nothing. And I'm good to go. So yeah, I really like this top. It's an easy, I totally agree. I did not have a problem with it. The only problem I had was trying to make it fit. And as you can see on my table, I did make it work. So now I want to talk about my earrings. Another embroidery project that I do. I make these earrings. These are great for Christmas gifts, birthday gifts. You don't need this chain. You can make it so it's just at the top here. And I'm going to show you a short little segment of how I made these. Now the absolute easiest thing you can make on your embroidery machine is jewelry. And I'm going to make 2 pairs of earrings, freestanding lace earrings. And if you're a beginner, I would go and start with that. I was years into embroidery before I discovered this, and it's just amazing. and you can make these earrings and give them as gifts. This is an embroidery library design. So what you need is to hoop your stabilizer, and this exact is Ultra Solvay water soluble stabilizer. This is what I use for all my jewelry. You could also use a wash away mesh, use 2 layers of that, but I prefer this. And since I made the top, this is a really cute top, I want to make some earrings, and I think this color will work for the earrings. So the key is, now I have 2 bobbins here because I'm going to fill it with this tan thread, and then I'm going to make another pair of earrings since I have this 4x4 hoop and I can fit 2 pairs. I'm going to make another set with this kind of reddish color. The key is you got to have the bobbin and the thread together matching, because if you put white or black in the bobbin, the back of your earrings will be that color, and I like the colors to match, so that's what I do. So I am going to hoop this in my machine and stitch it out. The first one's done and we're moving on to the second one. Looking good. So each earring takes 5 minutes. But once the second one's done, I'll load the new color for the other pair. Down to the last earring. So they look really good. And now I'm just going to trim the threads in the back. I did these top 2. There's just tiny threads here. Just need to trim those off. Notice how the back and the front are the same color, because that's what you want. So the bobbin thread is the same. This is the result. So you can't tell which is the front. And then what I do is I just punch them out. They just come right out. Each one. There we go. And this one here. I'll just peel this off. And if there's a little residue or tiny bit of glue here, that's all it is an adhesive. What you could do in the center here is get a Q-tip, a wet Q-tip, and just dot the center. You have a hole there, and now you got your embroidered earrings. So yeah, it's the easiest thing you can do on your embroidery machine. I want to show you the assembly of these earrings. Now I started to wet these in the middle to remove the stabilizer here, and I just dabbed it with a wet Q-tip, and now I'm just going to use the awl to remove that excess, and you just let it dry. And I do the same thing here too. I could just poke it, but it's better to wet it a little bit, but it's damp. This one I wet, so now I use the awl to remove that. See that extra stabilizer? And what that does is it gives it a clear opening for your jewelry. And okay, so that one's done. And I could just poke that in because you want that for the hardware. Okay, so that pair are done. And I'm going to do the same for these red ones here. Get the Q-tip, it's damp. Now the instructions say to dip the whole earring in hot water, but I like them a little stiff, so I don't want to do that. Just want to remove the center and then at the top right there. So, and then you just let it dry. You just clean it out. You can use a seam ripper, but you got to be careful not to cut the threads. I prefer all with a point. I'm going to do the same with this one. Just get it wet in the middle. You don't need a lot of water, just damp. It's just enough to remove the excess stabilizer, as you can see. And if you put more warm water, it'll come right out. And then I leave the rest. I do not put the whole earring in water. Then I have the hardware. What I have here is these O-rings, and I'm going to feed the O-ring in the top of the earring here. And then I'm going to cut 5 links off this chain. So these are the assembled earrings. You just change the hardware and you have a totally different look. Like I said, the easiest thing to make on your embroidery machine is jewelry. You can make bracelets, earrings, necklaces. Just use a freestanding lace and put in the hardware and there you go. So I'm really happy with these two. That's what I love about my embroidery machine. I go crazy making jewelry. So like, here's another close-up. So I match the thread to bring out the flowers in this. You can do whatever you want. Customize your creations with jewelry on your embroidery machine. Here's another example of some earrings I've made. Look at that. You just stitch it out, make sure the bobbin matches the thread. You put some hardware on it and you got a pair of earrings. Christmas gift, birthday gift, bingo. I also made these daisy earrings that I really like. I added a chain to these. And there's some backs here. You could buy these backs too for the earrings. So you got these dangling earrings and a matching necklace. That's it. It's the exact same design. I just stitched it out and added the hardware, which you could buy in any craft store, Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and Walmart. So that's what I do with my embroidery machine. I hope you take a chance and go for it. It's so easy and fun. So that's it for what did I make with my Fabric Mart Bundle edition today. What I wanted to tell you is, as you know, if you're a regular subscriber, I generally upload my videos on Friday at 4 p.m. and that's when they come out. But sometimes I'll do an additional video if there's an occasion. Like I did for Halloween, I made that Halloween dress out of that Vogue pattern. If you haven't seen that, I hope you check it out. It's a fun video. It's so creative. And now, Monday, Veterans Day coming up, I think it's November 11th, I will be releasing a video for Veterans Day because I was asked to do a collab with Keisha the stylist. She's a lot of fun. She's a stylist. She doesn't sew, but she upcycles creations in a very unique fashion, and it's great. And she invited me to do a collab with her. So I have a special video for you on Veterans Day. It's going to come out at 8 a.m. on Monday. So I hope you check that out. And then, of course, every Friday at 4, expect those videos. Another thing is, I'm almost at 3,000 subscribers. I'm at 2,994 as of today. 6 more subscribers, I'll be at 3,000, and you know what that means, another giveaway. So I hope that happens soon so I can do a giveaway, and I'm really enjoying this channel. I'm enjoying the interaction. I'm having fun bringing you my creations and getting your wonderful comments and just having a great exchange. So I hope you're enjoying that. I hope you found this video informative and fun, and most of all, I hope you were so inspired.